Hey there everybody, my name is Kat Bowser, I'm your resident fantasy therapist, and welcome back to my channel. Those of you here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kat Bowser, I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a writer working on my first novel, and on my channel I like to talk about the heart of all writing, and that is in the characters. And the heart of the characters is in their psychology. So that's the angle I like to take with pretty much everything I talk about on my channel. So today I actually want to do a book review for you guys. I haven't done one in a long time actually, even though I have several that I've been meaning to record, I just haven't gotten to them. So I decided I need to start plowing through these. So today I will be giving you guys a review of Adam Wing's Matriarch. So I actually received a copy of this for free, a digital copy, and it was given away by the author. And after reading through it, I had to buy it. I don't have a lot of space for books. So if I go to the trouble of buying a physical copy, it's usually because I really like it. So for those of you who've never seen one of my book reviews before, what I usually do is I tell you guys what I liked about it, what I think needed work, what was something unique about it, and then I give what I call essentially a psychological scale, like how realistic was it on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being not realistic at all, 5 being pretty realistic, about as close as you can get. So that's the angle I'm going to take when I do this one. I will not be giving away any spoilers, so I'm not going to go into extreme detail, especially on some plot elements, but I will give you guys enough to kind of see if it's something you want to check out for yourself. So starting out, what is a basic kind of just overview of the book? I'm just going to go off the back cover because I think that's the best way to do it without giving you guys any spoilers. So that's what I'm going to do. So the back cover, the story is over, it's already too late. At the end of the Turkish War of Independence, a British soldier disobeys orders to return home. Setting out to explore a country he had only known as a trespasser, he uncovers danger, mysteries, and magic, adventure, obsession, and true love. 100 years later, the soldier's great-granddaughter sits at her great-grandmother's deathbed while the old woman recounts this very tale. It is the last she will ever tell. Secrets are revealed as past and present collide, and as one woman's future draws towards its inevitable close, another finds hers thrown into uncertainty. So that is the very, very basic overview of it. Naturally, with it being a novella, it's pretty short, so I can't go into extreme detail on any of the plots because I don't want to give this away. But I can kind of give you guys my thoughts on it and see if it's something you would be interested in. So first and foremost, what do I like about this story? I really like the characters. I've read another of Adam's books, which I will also do a review on when I get time. And his ability to create likable but unique characters is really interesting. None of his characters feel like cutouts. They all have their own individual kind of quirks. And I really liked following the story of the British soldier because it felt real, for lack of a better word. It felt like this could legitimately have been someone who was coming out of a war. He had the right reactions, but he also had his own like individual interests and interpretations of things, and I really like that. The other thing I like is I'm usually not a fan of when a story jumps back and forth between present and past, but I think this one does it really, really well because the breaks come at a time when they should come. There is just enough intrigue left in the past that you jump to the present and you kind of see how the characters are reacting in the present to this information, and then you jump back to the past again. And I think it's done in a way where it complements each other. A lot of times when you do this, you kind of lose tension because when you jump to the future, you kind of know what ends up happening, but he does this very cleverly in that the characters that you follow in the past aren't the same ones you're following in the present. So you still have that tension, that unknown, and I think that's done really well. What are the things I think could probably use a little work? This is probably just my preference, but my thing with novellas is I always feel like there could be a little more. Like I always feel like there could have been a couple extra pages. There could have been a little expansion on this event or this character, and I kind of feel the same way here. There's certain instances that I can't give you guys details on for spoiler reasons, but there's certain instances where I just feel like it almost went a little too fast, even for a novella. But it didn't ruin it for me. I still enjoyed it, and I actually think that can be a testament to the author's skill and that I want more. That's generally what you want. Let's see, was anything else that kind of got to me? Nothing major. I'd say the beginning is well done, but I had to read a couple pages before I could really understand what was going on. The beginning isn't, I wouldn't call it confusing, but it's one of those where you have to read a bit before you kind of get your footing, if that makes any sense. I don't think it's a detriment. I just think it's something that took me off guard a little bit, but still well done. What are things I think are unique about this story? Well, first off, you don't know where it's going. You think you know where it's going. You have no idea where it's going. But it's not one of those angles where it happens and you're like, well, that came out of nowhere. It makes sense. It's built up, but it's not something that you can kind of predict. And I like that because I don't see a lot of stories that can pull that off and make it work, but this one does. The other thing is I love the atmosphere that this book sets, especially in the past sections. There is just this sense of an overall culture and mythology, and I really like that. I left a review on Amazon and Goodreads, and I described it as it felt like listening to old fairy tales told by a fire, and that's really the feel this book gets me. Is it feels like one of those old legends that you would hear told from your grandparents that they got told from their grandparents and so on and so forth. So that sets a really good mood, and I really enjoy that. Last bit. What would I give it on a psychological scale? Well, given it's a novella, there's not as much development as you would have in a novel, and I think that's fine because this has, like I said, a very legendy kind of feel to it. I'd give it probably a 3.5, because there's nothing said or done that does not match, and there's nothing said or done that is inaccurate. But I just feel like I said, those areas of the book where it kind of, I thought, moved a little fast, I think it kind of hurts it a little bit there, because I think they could have delved a little more into some of the psychological responses to some of this stuff. Having said that, though, he does address it. It's not that he ignores the psychological effects that these things are having on people. He addresses it. I just think it's a limitation of the style of it being a novella, but I still say it's well done. Not enough for a 4 out of 5, but definitely more than a 3. So I'll say a 3.5. Overall, I'd give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I couldn't really predict where it was going, and I love it when I have books that do that because I don't get that very often. I think it has a nice feel to it. It has fun characters. Like I said, you really don't know where the plot is going. So I highly recommend it. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you do, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think it will definitely throw you for a loop, but in a good way. And those kind of books are always fun. So I have left the links to the Amazon option to buy this book for you guys. And make sure you guys check out the author. He is on Goodreads. He's also on Twitter. And just give him some love because he is a very talented writer. So thank you guys for chiming in for my little book review. I will try to put some more out because I have read quite a few books lately. I just haven't gotten into recording my reviews for them, so I would try to fix that. And as always, if you guys like my content, make sure you let me know. I always like to respond to the comments. And if you want to know whenever I upload, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss whenever a new video goes up. I try to upload every Friday, every Sunday. And until next time, I hope you guys have a good one.